Someone once said, if you do something with a paintbrush, someone will value it, but if you do with a computer, no one cares. That saying was true until March of 2021, when Christie, which is a famous art dealer, sold a piece of work, digital art. Very first time they issued that by a famous digital artist who is now famous, but then digital artist by the name of Mike Winkelmann for over $60 million, which is a huge game changer. Now I want to talk about that story. As you know, art is important. There are different things that you can invest in. Don't take advice from somebody here on YouTube, but there are different kinds of investments, whether you want to do real estate, stocks, bonds, mutual funds, paper assets, land, and as long as older than I have been, art is definitely a great source of value, should I say. It's something that's valuable. During times of war, people would keep their art, they'd keep their gold, they'd keep their silver. If they had to flee, they take their art with them, and whenever they get to a new destination, they would just take that art and they can sell it. So obviously important paintings like the Mona Lisa, Van Gogh, and a whole list of artists out there or artwork that are very famous are valued at millions and millions of dollars. But the concept of digital art wasn't really something that people took note of. I mean, you can take pictures with your camera. As you can see, I have pictures everywhere, my family, but a digital picture for the longest time didn't have as much value as a painting, which is the art. The experts will argue that paint is alive, the art has to be alive, the art has to be in a certain way, and not a digital picture. Anyways, that has changed, or that is changing due to the works of people like Mike Winkelmann. Very important story, or very powerful story about this digital artist. He was born in Charleston, South Carolina. When he was young, he used to play a lot of video games, grew up on the time of the Commodore 64, and then eventually he transitioned into short films, where he would make short films and then he'd do visual clips for rock bands. Now, the visual clips that he would do for bands, you try and sell it to them and give it to them, or pay to have those visual clips recognized, and he paid $100, $50, and he never got the recognition that he wanted it to get. So eventually, as he started giving it away for free, and he would do different kinds of digital art, where more like videos, silhouettes, where you can play like a rock concert, where VJs would play the clips or the short clips that he used to make, and he did this consistently. A year later, while he was doing these VJ clips, he went to Hong Kong and he saw some of his work in Hong Kong, which was exciting for him. And then he went to Chicago, different parts of the world, and he was seeing his VJ clips in different locations, and he knew he was onto something. Anyways, ultimately, his video clips showed up in concerts, like with people like Justin Bieber, Katy Perry, Childish Gambino, and just to name a few. And so eventually he transitioned to making images like JPEGs. And then he started a project which he called the Everydays. Now this is very important. He decided to create a JPEG every single day and post it on the internet for he did it every single day for 5,000 days. I think that is crazy. Wrap your head around that. He designed and posted a JPEG on the internet every single day for 5,000 days. That is for 13 years. Whether he felt like doing it, whether he didn't feel like doing it, he went, created some digital art, and he posted it on the internet for 13 years. Eventually, one of them got sold. His first ever sale was for $100, but he kept on doing this every single day. Eventually, somebody called Pablo, a digital artist, or someone who recognized digital art, helped him to sell one of his pieces for $6.6 million. And his commission for that was about $600,000. Crypto came alive, as you know. Well, we're in the crypto age, and a very important part of crypto is the NFTs, which are non-fungible tokens. Everybody's getting into NFTs. You have people like Steph Curry, who has bought a what's it called again? The Bored Ape. Jimmy Fallon. I've done a video about this, about NFTs, about Steph Curry's NFTs collection with FTX, and a whole bunch of other stuff. So NFTs are huge. NFTs are blowing up. NFTs could be like pets.com back in the early 2000s, where everybody was jumping on the internet age or the internet, the .com boom, and a lot of these became scams. That might be the argument with NFTs. However, you do have to understand that NFTs are here to stay. NFTs is digital art on the blockchain where the true representation or ownership of that digital art can be validated on the blockchain. So it's kind of imagine the Mona Lisa. You have to be an artist or somebody who really understands art to look at the Mona Lisa and be able to differentiate a fake Mona Lisa from the actual Mona Lisa painting. But with NFTs, the ownership of the person who owns the painting is identifiable on the blockchain. Anyways, with the explosion of NFTs, obviously with someone like Beeple, back to the Mike Winkelmann story, the Beeple story, kept on doing this for a long time. And then ultimately, Christie, back to what I said in the beginning, decided to put up one of his auctions, put up one of his artwork for a 14-day auction. First time Christie's ever did it, and they sold it for $60 million. That is insane. What is the takeaway from this? For me, there are three things that are taken away from this Beeple story. The first thing is something that Gary Vee said, is that we're no longer living in a world of, people are so focused on the world of this or this. If it's not real art. If it's not a painting, it has to be alive. Or I rather have Bitcoin than have Ethereum. Ethereum is better, Bitcoin is not so great. So we live in that or world where people try to make arguments of this, it has to be this or it has to be that. But we don't live in an or world, we live in an and world. And I agree with that statement. You can have Instagram and you can also use Twitter. You can use Instagram for stuff, you can use Twitter for something entirely different. So it's a world of this and this. Things are complementary. So we're living in a world whereby we are not throwing away real art. Real art has been here for centuries and is very, very important and valuable. But we're living in a world of real art or physical art, let me use the word, and digital art. So it's an and world that we live in. And I like that concept. I like that concept where it allows you not to become a maximalist, where you're like, it has to be this way. Because if you're a maximalist, you can't be open up to opportunities. That's the first takeaway. The second takeaway is the power of consistency. This is something that I love so much. This Mike Winkelmann was posting a JPEG on the internet every single day for 5,000 days, 13 years. So people might argue and say, wow, he just did some artwork and he was lucky to get $60 million to his artwork to be sold for $60 million. He wasn't lucky. He was consistent. I don't care who you are, what you do. If you do something every single day for 13 years, you're going to be really, really good at it, good or bad. Well, if it's a bad habit, you do every day for 13 years. Well, you get my point. And that's what his success is, because you do it so much, he got very, very, very good at it, and you can see it in his work. So the power of consistency. And the last thing that I take away from this is that tech is always a game changer. Tech is always a game changer. Tech makes things better, faster, cheaper. Whether you apply tech in healthcare, whether you apply tech in finance, whether you apply tech in different areas, tech just makes things better. Not knocking physical art, but also the complementary aspect of being able to use digitized art makes it quicker, makes it faster. I can't imagine that Van Gogh could have painted a painting every single day. Maybe for 13 years, maybe he could have. But the speed of someone like Beeple could do that because he's doing it digitally. So my point is that tech is a huge game changer. And there's always also in the area of financial tech in terms of crypto assets. Anyways, so my last takeaway is that crypto is changing the world. I said tech is a game changer, but crypto is the biggest game changer ever. And that's why I always say that my wish for you is that you learn more about crypto, because crypto is changing and will change the world. And those who get involved early, in my personal opinion, will greatly impact the future. And if that's you, let's go change the world.
Still looking for ways of earning extra income? Clicky lets you earn by sharing content you normally would have with friends. Go to www.clicky.com and register a new account. You can now start looking for any content with clicks and share with your friends and on social media. Once people click on the link shared, you can start earning easily. Find out more about Clicky on any of our social media handles. Clicky. Create, share, earn.